Good afternoon and welcome to True Dugman Encounters. I'm your host, Marvin Allen. First and foremost, I would like to say I love and I miss all of you. And I hope that everyone is doing okay. Um, no, I haven't been uploading. Um, been in the house a lot due to this coronavirus thing. But I said I can't let that get me down. I need to just go ahead and start, uploading, giving y'all something to listen to and giving me something to do. But hope everybody doing okay. And just stay safe, stay healthy, drink a lot of water, you know, and I wish all my subscribers and their families the best. Now, I got some encounters for y'all. Um, but this first encounter that I'm gonna give y'all, I been had it. I don't know why I ain't never tell it, but I'm gonna tell it today. Um, Now the lady, she wished to stay anonymous, and she didn't give me the location, which I don't really mind because I just love, just to tell a person encounter. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right into this first encounter. Now, this first encounter, she said that she could remember this like it was just yesterday because she said it happened, well, things started happening about a week later after her son's 12th birthday. But I'm going to start from the beginning and then I'll lead up to that. So, this lady said that on her son's 12th birthday, he didn't, she said he didn't really want to do nothing real special, just have a few friends over and if his mother would promise to take him to this, this park he used to like to go to. So the day of his birthday, he had his friends come over, they did the ice cream and cake thing, opened the presents, and went outside and they played a little bit. So she said a couple of days at his birthday, she started taking him back to this, this little park where they used to where he used to like to go to. So she would go there, just let him play, run around, and just do him and be a kid. So she said one day when they was there, you know, because she said they didn't have a bathroom or nothing like that, and he had to, use the bathroom. So she told him to go, you know, on the other side of where this little swing set was at. And she said it was like a wooded area there. And she told him don't go too far, to go to where the woods was at. And when he went down there, she said that it was like a pile of, like logs, like somebody had cut down and they was just, just sitting right there. So she told him to go right there and, use the bathroom. So that's what he did. So after he went and used the bathroom and came back, he played for a few more minutes and then he told her, if it was okay, if they could just go back home. So that's what they did. So now, like I told y'all, things started happening like a week after his birthday. This when she said things was getting real weird. So she said one night, after dinner, they set up like they used to always do and, watch the movie. So after the movie, she went, laid down in her room, and he went in his room, to go to bed. So this particular night, when he was laying in the bed, because his bed was like directly at, facing like his window. And he said he should always, keep his, curtains open in his window, and he would leave it cracked just a little bit. Not a lot, but just a little bit. So he said just this particular night when he was laying in bed, he said something caught his attention because he seen like a flash, like something. He said he seen like something had moved past the window real fast. So it startled him, and then he sat up. So he said he's staring at this window and he's looking, but he don't see nothing. So he said he sat up for a few more minutes, still didn't see nothing. So he just went on and just laid back down. He said about 2 a.m, something woke him. He says, because he heard this like a tapping sound on his window. Tat, 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 tat. So he said he sat up. And he said when he sat up, he said all he could see was these glowing yellow eyes. Now he's stunned. He don't know what it is. But he see these glowing yellow eyes. Now he say he can't see nothing. And he's looking at these eyes. He said then he noticed that he could see what looked like, and these is his words, what looked like to be was some kind of fingers trying to come through the little crack of his window. Now he can't move, he can't say nothing. I mean, he in shock. But he watching these, what looked like to him, what he said was fingers trying to come through the crack of his window. So as he watching these fingers come through this window, he said he could see out the corner of his eye that a light came on in the hallway because he had his door open and his mother had came in there to check on him. So when she came and looked in his room, she seen him sitting up. And she said she hit the light. And she said when she hit the light, she said she could see something, pull back real fast from in the crack of his window. But she didn't know what it was. So she went over there to look. But when she went over there to look, she didn't see nothing. So she asked him, she said, baby, what was that? What was that? So he in shock. He can't say nothing. So she pulls the blanket, from off of his, legs and stuff. And she noticed that he had, he had urinated, in the bed. And, so she was shaking him and he came up out of it. He said, huh? And looked at his mother. And she said, get up out of the bed. You peed on yourself. You peed in the bed. So she got him up. So I'm going in there, take a shower and stuff like that. And she kept asking them questions. And she said, what's wrong? Why did you pee on yourself? Why didn't you go to the bathroom? So he said, I don't know, but something had woke me up. And when I looked at the window, I saw these yellow eyes. And then I seen what looked like fingers coming through the crack of the window, because I leave the window crack. And his mother believed him, because she said when she came in the room and she hit the light, she seen something pull back, from the little crack of the window. So she said, well, you're not going to sleep in this bed tonight because, the bed was wet and everything. So she told him to just go in there, and just sleep in his room. So nothing happened for a couple of more days. But she just kept noticing that he kept, he kept urinating on himself. He wouldn't get up and go to the bathroom, because he was scared. So she said one day they got up, real early because she had to go, take her mother to the market, so she can get her some stuff. So that's what they did. And, he asked her, he said, Mom, can we stop past the little playground that he used to like go play at? So that's what they did. And she said he was sitting there playing, she was sitting on the bench and she was just reading a book. And she said she noticed that he started stirring in the area to where he had used the bathroom at last time that he went there, and where the logs was at. And she had asked him, she said, baby, what's wrong? You okay? What you looking at? And she said, yeah, Ma, I'm okay. And he said, I'm just looking at this, this Doug over there. Because he said that he could notice that what looked like to him was a Doug. Now, mind you, when I was telling you that, the logs was, laid out right there like somebody had cut down, some of them, they was stacked up on top of each other. Now, he 12 years old. So at this time, he was like, 5 feet and something. So he said that the logs will come up to like, I'm going to say, he said to like where his neck was at, so that's kind of high. So he said when he was looking over there, he could see what looked like to him, he thought that was a dove. And he could see the head of this thing. And he said that it was just, like it was looking just over top of where the logs was at. And so his mother said, what kind of dog is it, baby? Do you know? And he said, no, Ma, I don't. I don't know what kind of dog it is, but it's just standing, right there, just staring at me. And he said this thing just kept looking at him, like it's just looking right inside of him. So she said, come on, baby, because we don't know what kind of animal that is. It could have rabies or something like that. Let's go. So they left, they went home. So he asked his mother, he said, Ma, can I sleep in your room tonight? And she said, no, you're going back in your room. You're going to sleep in there. And if you got to use the bathroom, get up and go to the bathroom. Or, just keep a little, this little bucket that she gave him and told him, keep it by the side if you scared to go to the bathroom, and make sure you pee in that bucket and don't pee in the bed. So he said this particular night, he made sure he shut his window. He said so he couldn't go to sleep for some reason, because he kept seeing what he said was a Doug at the park that he went to earlier. So he said he just sat up in the bed and he just sat up. He said, so, hours passed. So he said he just kept, he noticed himself just kept dozing off. And he said when he started to doze off, he said he had closed his eyes. He said he heard that tapping sound again. Tat-tat, tat-tat, tat-tat. He said when he looked, he said he seen that same creature, that same thing that he said was a Doug at his window. Now, mind you, his window is not low to the ground, because this is just a level, first floor level home. He said, but when he's looking at this creature at his window, he said it just didn't set right. He said because the head on this thing, he said the head it was huge because it took a lot of space up at his window. He said then he saw those yellow, menacing eyes. He said then he watching this thing because now he want to know what it is. He said because this thing it's not a Doug. He said because when he looked at this thing, he said this thing raised, and this is his words, raised what he said was a hand. And he placed it on his window. And he did it again. Tat-tat. 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 Now he looking at this thing. He said looking at this thing tap on his window. But he don't do nothing. He just sitting there. Because he can't move. He's scared. He don't know what to do. He said, and at the time, he didn't know what to do. He said, then this thing did something that no Doug should ever do. He said he seen this thing start to rise. He said this thing just started to get bigger. I mean, bigger and bigger. And he said as this thing is rising up, his head is going back and looking up at this thing, at his window. He said this thing was huge. He said this thing stood up on his back legs. He said then this thing tried to take his hands and open his window. He's scared. He don't know what to do. He can't move. He said so he tried to get off his bed. He said so when he stood up off his bed, he said this thing showed his teeth. And it made a low growl. He said when that thing did that, he sat back down on his bed. He said, and then that thing, it's like it just closed his mouth. He couldn't see the teeth on his thing no more. He said, but this thing was trying to open his window. He said, so he stood up again. He said, and that thing did the same thing. It showed its teeth and it growled at him again. So he sat back down on his bed and he studied watching this creature. And as he watching this creature, he said this creature took his head and he said it like it tilted to the side and it looked at him and it just stared at him. He said, and just as quick as that creature came to his window again that night, he said he could see this creature turn. It dropped down to all fours. And he could say he could hear this thing just start to run. Just start to run. And it just left. He said he sat there because he was still scared. He didn't get up. He waited. He said when he really knew that that creature was gone, he got up and he ran in his mother's room. And he said, Ma, I can't sleep in that room. I can't sleep in that room. She said, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong, baby? She said, that thing was at my window tonight. She said, what thing? She said, that thing I thought was a dog that we saw out there near the park. She said, but it's not no dog, Ma. This thing stood up on his back legs. Now, mind you, his mother believed him 100%. His mother didn't doubt him, so she let him sleep in there, with her that night. So she said this kept going on, it kept happening, like every night to him, but she got tired of him, sleeping in her room. So she said about a month or two passed. So they went down to this park, where she used to always take him at. So this time they both sitting on the bench, mother reading a book, and he just sitting there beside his mother. So he looking in that same direction, over there where the logs that way took the urine at. And when he looked over there, said he could see that creature raise up and look over top of those logs. And it's looking right over there in the direction of him and his mother. And he shake his mother's leg. He say, Mommy, look. There go the thing right there. And his mother looked. And she looked at this thing. And she noticed something off about it. Because she know them logs over there is kind of high. And she know this ain't no ordinary dog. Because she said the head on this thing was huge. And it had those pointy ears. Ears was sitting straight up. And she noticed this thing started to sniff. It would just started to sniff the air. And it would sniff. And she noticed that the area over there where her son went to urinate, now she could notice that where he urinated over there at, this thing, whatever you want to call it, will be in the same spot where her son urinated at. It wouldn't go down the other end or the other end. It would go at that exact spot where he urinated at. So they watching this thing, and it's watching them. So his mother say, baby, come on, let's get up, and we're going to go ahead and go home. So they get up, and they go home. So this particular night, when they in the house, you know, they sitting in the, in the front room. They watching a movie. And then they're just off to where the dining room at is where, like, they got the little patio at, where you can go out back and go on, like, the back porch. But they sit in the front room and, watching a movie. So she used to keep, the curtains open on the patio, glass doors and stuff like that. Because they used to, the moonlight used to shine in through the back, on the back of the porch. So that particular night, they had the curtains open, and you could just, just to see out back. So they watching a movie. And she said while they sitting there watching a movie, she said she started to hear, like, was a tapping sound. Tat, 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 tat. But when she look, she don't see nothing. But she can hear what's tapping on the glass of her patio door. But she don't see nothing. But she could hear tap, tap. So she, she gets up, walks in through the, through the living room, into the dining room, back to where the patio glass doors at. And so she looks, but she don't see nothing. So she turns around and she goes back in there to sit back into the front room so she could, sit back down and watch TV. So when she turns around and she go to walk back, her son say, "Ma!" So she say, she turns around, and when she turns around, she see this creature standing up at her back patio door. So when she turned around and she looked at this creature, she drops the remote out her hand. Boom, it hits the floor. Now she see how massive and how big this thing is. Now she see what's been torturing her son. Now she see what's been making him scared and not being able to get up and use the bathroom. So when she dropped the remote, she looking at this thing. And she say when she looking at this thing, she say this thing it's like it was just breathing real heavy because she could just see his chest. And that's what she said this thing had, was a chest. It would breathe. It was like it was just breathing, like, breathing, because she could hear this thing breathe through the door. She could hear it. She said she could see his chest just getting bigger every time this thing would breathe. Now she can't move. So she tell her son, she said, "Baby." He said, "Huh?" She said, "I want you to get up And I want you to go in my room. And I want you to get on the phone. And I want you to dial 911. So he said, Ma, I'm scared. I don't want to get up. I don't want to leave you. She said, just go do what I say. Go in my room, get on the phone, and dial 911. So he gets up. He said, but when he gets up and he starts to walk down the hallway, before he could get there, he said, this creature took his hands and he grabbed on to that patio door. And he said he stopped when he seen that creature do that. He said, so he back up and he sat back down on the chair. He said when he did that, the creature let go of the door. His mother said, baby, did you do what I said? He said, no, Ma, I didn't. I'm sit back down. She said, why didn't you go call 911? She said, because I seen that thing grab hold to the door. And when I sat back down, it let it go. Like this thing was taunting this kid. Like this thing was letting him know, if you try something, I'm coming in. If you think about doing something, I'm coming in. So he said he sat there and his mother stood there, what felt like was for hours. But it wasn't long. But he said it felt like hours. He said just like that, the creature turned and it took one leap and was gone. It left. The mother turned, she ran in her room, she got her phone, she called 911, police came out. But before the police got there, he said, Ma, what are we going to say? What are you going to tell him? And when he said that to his mother, she realized she really didn't know what to say. So she said when they got there, they asked her, what was wrong, And she said, well, me and my son was sitting in here. We was watching, a movie. And we seen somebody at our back patio door, And it was, jiggling the knob trying to, to get in, So they went out there and they looked and, just to see if they could see, anything. And they said when they went out there, they asked, do y'all got a dog? This is what the police say to them, because they could smell what smells like like wet dog. And she said, no, well, it smell like, like a strong odor of a dog out here. So they took the report, and she said that it might have been somebody trying to, get in their house and stuff like that. and they left. So she said they couldn't sleep none that night, so they stayed up to daybreak. So once morning came, she told her son, she said, go in there and, just, lay in my bed and try to get some sleep. So that's what he did. Went in the room, laid down, and got some sleep. So when he woke up, she made him something to eat. They sat down and, and they talked about this. And he asked his mom, he said, Mom, what are we going to do? She said, baby, I don't know if there's anything we can do. We can't tell the police that we saw what? A human dog man at our back door, or a human dog man at your window. They not gonna believe us. They gonna think we crazy. So what she did, she said, well, I think we need to just go ahead and just go stay with grandma, you know, for a while. Just to see if this blows over. So that's what they did. They packed some things up and they went to go stay with her mother. So she said she stayed with her mother for about 3 months. They stayed there. No incidents at the mother house. None. Didn't have to worry about anything. But the one thing they didn't do, they didn't go back to that park where they used to always go at. So she said after about those 3 months, she told her mother that she had to go past the house and, grab some stuff. She said so when she got home, she went in the house. And these are her words. She said when she went in the house, all she could smell was strong urine. Like something just urinated all over her house. She said it was so strong that it like it burnt her eyes. So she was like, oh my God, what? So she goes in, goes in the cupboard, gets some spray and starts spraying. She opens up the back patio door. But when she do that, she noticed that she could see scratch marks on her wall, what looked like little claw marks, like something been scratching on her wall. She said her couch was scratched up. The chair was scratched up. She go in her room. The sheets was off the bed. She said because before they left, she made sure her house was in order. She made sure she cleaned up everything. Now her house it smells horrible. It smell like wet dog. It smell like that strong urine and scratch marks all over the place. Now, she say she got to do something, but she don't know what. But she know that this thing been inside our house. But the one thing she said she didn't do, she didn't bring her son back there. Period. At all. So she walking through the whole house to see what's messed up. And I mean, she say the house was just, she say she know this creature been in our house. She know that for a fact. Because our house smells horrible. And those scratch marks. But she didn't bring her son back. And she didn't take anything. Because she went there to get some more, clothes for them. But she didn't take nothing. So she went back to her mother's house, and she told her son, she said, I think we need to start looking for another place. And her son said, why, man? Why we gotta leave there? She said, baby, that thing been in our house. I could smell it. It was so strong that it burnt my eyes. This is what the mother telling her son. She said, we can't go back there. We can't stay there. She said, I left the windows up so that it could air out because it smelled bad. It smelled really bad. She was hurt because she said that she'd been in that home since she was a little girl. So she didn't really want to leave. But she knew it wasn't safe to go back there. So they stayed at their mother's house. At his grandmother's house. So they stayed there. So she said she waited for about 2 weeks before she called any other relative. So she said she had 2 brothers. She called them. And she said, I need y'all, to help come and move my stuff out and what I'm going to keep to put in storage. And what I don't want, I'm just throwing away. So she went back to the house first and stuff. And she said that she could notice that the house still had that same strong odor. Like these things was just coming back there every day. So she leaves out the house, to meet her brothers before they get there. So when they get there, they asked her, they say, well, you didn't get a truck or anything? She said, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna do this today. We can, we can do it some other time. Because she didn't want them to go in the house. Period. She didn't want them to go in the house to smell that odor. Because she didn't want them to judge her. Because that's what she thought that they would do. Because of the way it smelled. So she talked to them and she convinced them, to leave and to tell them that they could do it some other time. So that's what they did. So she went back to her mother's house. And, the son asked him, Ma, I thought she was going, we was going to pack up and, move the stuff. He said, baby, we can't go back there. We can't go back there. It still smell bad in there, baby. And I couldn't have them go in there. I couldn't have them to go in there thinking that. I couldn't, baby. That smell is still in that house. It's still in that house. I can't. So she said they just stayed at their mother's house months after months after months. She said she just said she just couldn't go back there. She just couldn't go back there. She said stayed in the mother house for about a year before they went back, you know, to get what was valuable and to put in storage and to throw the rest away that wasn't no good. But I liked it, that story. Like I told y'all, I had that one for a while. I don't know why I never told it, but I'm just trying to give y'all something, to listen to and to let y'all know that, man, it's like these things don't have a problem coming in your house whether you there or you're not. And the son said that, well, what him and his mother came up with is that she think that thing picked up on her son's urine, his smell, because that's why I started coming to their house. So that's what I'm thinking too. Can these things pick up on a person's smell? Because she say they didn't really live far from that little park that they used to go to. But she said that's what she think. But she said they did finally was able to get in there, get all the stuff out the house and stuff. She had to said that she had to get somebody to come in and repair some of the stuff that was in there that was broken, because it was like it was then she said it was like a something that was in the like the bathroom, that door, it was pulled off of the hinges, and certain stuff that she had to fix before anybody can even think about moving in or anything like that. So she had to make sure all that stuff was in order before she before anybody could go in the house. And like I said though, when they gave me this encounter, man, I mean it just make you think, man, what the length that these creatures go through, whether they taunt people or whether they do it to make a person scared, fear, stuff like that. These things they are intelligent, they're not dumb by a long shot, so the way they gave it to me is the way I give it to y'all. I I try to I try to picture myself in these people's position, you know. So I try to visualize what they see. I try to visualize the same thing, and wonder what they went through during the time of these encounters. So that's the first encounter. Gonna upload it. Hope y'all like it. Comment, thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go and do so. Like I said, I love and I miss all of you. Man, stay safe, drink water, and I wish all my subscribers and their family the best. Thank you, and be right back with another encounter.